The United Kingdom will face stark choices of either higher taxes or a decline in public service, warns the IFS. I'm going to read into this more from The Guardian, guys. Let's go. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. This is REGANELITE here with an article from The Guardian with the headline that the UK faces a stark choice of higher taxes or decline in public service towards the IFS. Even if taxes rise and tax rises are chosen, system needed root and branch reforms as all main levels are flawed, finds study. I think it's fair to say that even if we significantly tax the rich and we go with tax rises, we're still a long way off from, if and when a Labour government does come in and implements this kind of thing, we're still a long way off from recovering from the damage that has been done by 13 years of Conservative rule. We have suffered so much, and there's going to be some very hard choices that Labour are going to have to make if they win the next general election. It's not going to be nice either way, and we're going to hate it, but if it means we have to take a step back to move 2 steps forward from this, then that's what we must do. Britain faces a stark choice between paying higher taxes or accepting an inevitable deterioration in public service and the welfare state, a report says. As an in-depth study of the UK's tax system, the Institute for Fiscal Studies, the IFS think tank, says that already high level of taxes and the weak prospects for growth meant voters face a tough choice. The IFS said if the political choice was to pay higher taxes, root and branch reform of the system would be needed to reduce the economic pain that higher levels would have involved. This is because every one of the UK's principal taxes was flawed, it added. A lot of taxes, especially on the wealthy, have too many loopholes. A lot of people are able to funnel money out of the system, but there's also a lot of wasted taxpayer money by the Conservatives and the way they're handling it as well. They've been badly mishandling taxpayers' money, and we'd like to think that Labour will handle it better. At least I do believe they will. They have to for the sake of the United Kingdom as a whole. But we'll have to wait and see once they come into power how they're going to manage things. And we don't know what the situation of the economy will be if and when Labour do come into power as well. And it's important to stress that that situation could be different now than it will be when they come in. It will not always be the same. It may be similar, but it may be worse. It could be better. I'll have to wait and see. The report, which was produced in partnership with the Initiation Foundation Leicester, noted that capital was taxed at a lower rate than income. The income tax system, which has been made more complex since the Conservatives came to power in 2010, exemptions from VAT cost the Exchequer $100 billion a year. The council tax system in England and Scotland was based on property values dating back to 1991. Environmental levies lacked consistency. Helen Miller, Deputy Director of the ISS and Head of the Tax Sector, said the tax and spend choices that face future governments are not inevitable. The big picture choice effectively boils down to increase tax or reduce the size of the state. Living standards are shaped not only by how much tax revenue is raised, but what it is spent on, but also by how it is raised. It's hard to think of a tax that doesn't need serious reform. Better designed taxes would make us more productive and therefore ultimately richer. Taxes would be fairer if we stopped taxing very similar people in very different ways. Tax is a share of national income that has been rising in recent years and are on course to hit its highest levels in 70 years in a decade. While high by historical standards, the ISS said taxes were not compared with the rest of Western Europe. The think tank said it was not inevitable that taxes would rise, but added, without tax rises, UK public services and benefits provision will not simply trend water, they will deteriorate. Unless levels of tax increases substantially, a reduction of the scope of public service that the British state provides is likely inevitable. And the British state also as well, remember we're paying a lot for, as a state, for an insane backlog of asylum seekers. The government also needs to hire more civil servants to help deal with the amount of backlog that we have in the immigration system as well. Public services are in desperate need of help. We have councils that are in massive debts as well, spiraling out of control, just to make ends meet, just to get potholes cleared, just to get bins collected. It's insane the amount of costs that councils are doing just to keep some basic necessity means running. It really is a worrying time ahead. Unless something major changes, such as acceleration in economic growth, it will not be possible to maintain public service and keep tax at current level. Yeah, guys, I do feel that we are going to end up paying more, inevitably. We are always going to end up paying more tax. I think that's inevitable. Even with taxing the rich, it's not going to be enough. Even closing loopholes and whatnot, there is going to be some suffering before there's going to be some kind of recover. I don't think we'll ever get back to the levels that we were before 2016. Not for a long time, not for a very long time, since we left the European Union. And that amount of money that was brought in that made such a difference to our lives is seriously hurtful. The fact that public services may decline, we can't let public service decline. We need to save public services. We need public services. They are such a vital component of Britain. They're vital for our society, so we cannot and we must not let them fall. So if it means that people have to pay a bit of tax now, later on, and unfortunately that is an inevitable thing. But what do you guys make of the Institute of Fiscal Studies warning? Are you guys surprised by this? Are you not surprised? Do you think us ordinary people have to pay more taxes to help contribute to this? Or is the rich enough going to be enough to do it? Let me know down in the comments below what you guys think. Like, share and subscribe as always. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope to catch you all very soon.